Hi, if you don't know us, we are the Everywhere family. We live in our RV full time and we travel the United States. We have officially lived in an RV for over a year and have collected a lot of things and stashed some things back in our storage loft that we haven't gone through in a long time. Since we're staying on our family's property for the next month and have nothing to do but visit our family and hang out, we decided it was the perfect time to go through all of our things. There is an unbelievable amount of room in this loft, and truthfully, I had no idea how much stuff was in there. When we first decided to go through everything in the loft, my intention was to get rid of pretty much everything up there because we hadn't seen it or used it in like 6 months. I figured it would give us another area for friends or family to spend the night because typically when they spend the night, we have them stay in Riker's room and Riker will stay in our room. Speaking of Riker, I found this really cute treasure box and I filled it with a bunch of prizes and we use it as like a reward system for him. And yeah, he came in at just the right moment. He seriously must have sensed it because he was inside the house playing with great grandma for at least an hour at this point and came in just as I was going through it. He ended up picking kinetic sand and going back in the house with her so we could finish up cleaning out the loft. Like I said, we hadn't gone through this loft in at least 6 months, and there were a few things in it that we used, the ones that were closest to the edge, but for the most part, we really didn't use any of the things. That hat that I just tried on was from my Halloween costume, and I have not used it since. There's this weird thing that happens when you live in an RV. I feel like when we lived in a house, I had such a strong emotional attachment to materialistic things. I had a really cute setup in our spare room with a Cricut and a computer and so many different crafting things. I had a KitchenAid mixer and so many other cute kitchen appliances that I love to use, like a bread maker. And honestly, that is one of the things that I do miss about living in a house because I don't bake or cook nearly as often as I did. But there is definitely a huge shift when you move into an RV and you have to minimalize everything pretty much. And it seems like things that mattered don't really matter anymore. I don't know, it's the craziest thing. I don't actually need the things that I thought I needed when I lived in a house, and I was so much more materialistic, but I did not realize that until I wasn't. Anyway, this is the loft, and I bet you didn't expect it to be so big because you can't see behind that wall. You can only see that tiny opening. These are all of the things that were in the loft, and we did end up purging a bunch of them, but of course I can't get rid of my Yeti coolers, like, be for real. Riker came back in to help us, and he was so helpful because he's so little and can help push everything back into its place. He really is such a great little helper. So that's the story of how we emptied, purged, and reorganized the loft, and obviously it's not going to be a guest space like I expected, but that's okay.